The villain Lev possesses a brilliant mind. He also has the ability to control others with his words. Thanks to this, he has carried out numerous bank robberies and caused a lot of chaos. How can Danny catch him? Let's follow along with this movie to find out. Danny is a detective. Many years ago, he took his daughter to an amusement park, but just in the blink of an eye she suddenly disappeared right before his eyes. Danny panicked and searched everywhere, but he couldn't find any trace of her. Since then, Danny has lived with a constant sense of regret, even frequently seeking help from a psychiatrist. But he always believes that his daughter is still alive. One day, Danny unexpectedly received an anonymous tip that there was going to be a bank robbery. Danny and his team immediately went to the scene. While en route, the anonymous tip indicated that the robber wanted to steal a safe deposit box number 23. His team mentioned that there was a female bank employee with significant authority, and if they could determine who she was cooperating with, they might apprehend the prime suspect. They used cameras to monitor the situation. Indeed, the female employee approached a chair and handed something to the person next to her. It appeared that this man was the suspected individual. However, at this moment, he suddenly said to her, "It's really hot today, isn't it?" The woman felt like she was boiling, and she began to undress completely, seemingly without any awareness, causing a commotion on the street. Next, he approached two agents and exchanged a few words. Danny felt that something was not right, so he quickly stood up and followed him inside. He entered the bank and claimed that he needed to retrieve something from storage box number 23. Taking advantage of the distracted bank director, he quickly took the key. The mysterious man approached the bank's reception desk, exchanged a few greetings with the female employee, and somehow made her lose control. Danny opened the storage box and was surprised to find only a photo of his daughter inside. Just then, the receptionist entered, and Danny pulled out his gun to stop her. However, she was completely hypnotized and paid no attention to him. Suddenly, two agents stormed in and shot Danny, then took the receptionist outside. Fortunately, Danny was wearing a bulletproof vest and survived. The manipulated employee was put into a car and driven away, but the car overturned and crashed onto the road. Seizing this opportunity, the mysterious man took the box and left. Danny tried to chase after him because he wanted to know why that man wanted his daughter's photo. Danny and two agents followed him to a building. After a while, they followed him up to the rooftop. Danny pointed his gun at him to make him surrender, but it didn't frighten him. Suddenly, he told the two agents that he was innocent, causing them to lose consciousness and point their guns at Danny instead. Danny showed him the photo and asked why he wanted his daughter's picture. At this moment, another agent rushed in, but the situation left them all in confusion because two agents had shot each other. Danny, despite this, continued to chase after the man, but couldn't find him anywhere. He knew that his daughter's disappearance was related to this man. In the evening, while Danny was reviewing the surveillance footage, his colleague informed him that they had identified the anonymous informant who predicted the robbery as a psychic named Diana. Danny immediately went to the address provided. Inside, Diana was talking to a security guard, and when she saw Danny, she instructed the guard to wait outside. Danny asked Diana how she knew about the bank robbery in advance, but Diana didn't answer and instead asked if they had caught the perpetrator. Danny replied that they failed, causing Diana to show a fearful expression. She quickly urged Danny to leave immediately, otherwise both of them might not survive. Outside, the mysterious man slowly approached from behind the guard. Inside, Diana was frantically preparing to leave. Just as she was about to open the door, the guard drove a motorcycle into the room. Danny used his gun to question him for some information, but unexpectedly he took his own life right in front of them. After the incident, Danny hurriedly took Diana to the police station because the safest place for her seemed to be the jail. Danny wanted to know how the mysterious man was able to control others. Diana explained that it was the art of hypnotism, and she was also a hypnotist. However, Danny thought she was bluffing. To prove it, Diana used only her gaze to make Nick sit down and then manipulated him to cry uncontrollably, ignoring anything Danny tried to do. Diana ordered him to leave immediately, and Nick obeyed. Then Danny asked Diana why she didn't hypnotize him. It turned out that Danny had the ability to resist hypnotism. Just as Nick went outside, the mysterious man entered. Diana began to talk about him. He was a member of their underground organization named Lev. However, he was the most dangerous one, so the organization decided to lock him up. Unexpectedly, he had now escaped, and no one could control him. As the two were speaking, the police station lost power. Danny went outside and saw Nick pointing a gun directly at them. He was under Lev's influence, but Diana wasn't strong enough to awaken him. Danny had no choice but to shoot Nick in the leg, although it didn't seem to wake him up. Diana explained that anyone hypnotized by Lev couldn't be undone, and then she shot and killed Nick. She wanted to seek help from her organization and planned to escape to Mexico. However, before they could get away, Lev caught up with them. He hypnotized all the police officers, turning them into his minions. Danny ran to the railway, and Lev with 2 officers pursued him relentlessly. Danny tried to hide among the train cars to escape, but the sudden scene before his eyes left him in disbelief. When he snapped back to reality, Lev was standing right in front of him, with the 2 officers advancing to finish him off. Suddenly, a car crashed into them. It was Diana. She quickly drove the car away to escape. They reached the border but were stopped. It turned out that they were wanted for the murder of Nick. Diana quickly hypnotized the border guards to let them through. Afterward, she led Danny to meet her friend, who was also a member of the organization. He explained that when Lev escaped from the organization, he stole Domino, a weapon that could control everything. The organization had erased his memories, so now he was trying to restore his memory by stealing memory boxes, and the photo of Danny's daughter was a clue to regain his memories. He demanded to see the photo, but Diana sensed something was wrong. Suddenly he stood up, revealing himself as Lev. Both Diana and Danny hurriedly fled. They tried to escape on the streets, not realizing that everyone around them had been hypnotized. Danny had to fight off the controlled individuals while running. Fortunately, they managed to steal a motorcycle and sped away in the nick of time. All the people in this town were under Lev's control. The 2 of them ran straight into a dead end, with Lev slowly approaching. He ordered the police officers to prepare to shoot them. At the critical moment, Danny's powers surged. It turned out that he also had a strong hypnotic ability. He took control of the police officers and turned them against Lev. Danny still didn't understand how to activate his power and why his daughter was the key to this. Diana led Danny to meet a hacker who was also a member of the organization. They wanted to access the database to search for information. But to their astonishment, they discovered that Danny's wife was also a hypnotist for the organization. Danny, after seeing this, was devastated. He said they had lived together for 10 years, and was it all just a lie? Later, when Danny was looking at his daughter's photo, he received a call and recognized it as Lev's voice. Lev demanded Danny take a gun and shoot Diana, but Danny refused and hung up. At that moment, Diana was in the bathroom, and Danny found himself holding a scissor, although he didn't understand why. Shortly after, Diana came out, sensing that Danny was not okay. Just as he was about to use the scissors to end her, Diana used love and physical connection to pull Danny back. After their intimate moment, Danny woke up in bed. He secretly used the hacker's computer to search for Diana's information, only to discover that Diana was actually his wife. He continued searching for their daughter's name and found out that she was the special one who couldn't be hypnotized. At this point, Diana woke up and began talking to Danny and found out he regained all his memories. It turned out that he was also a member of the organization. Back then, both of them had argued about the organization's intention to teach their daughter to become the most powerful hypnotist. Disagreeing with this, Danny secretly took their daughter into hiding. He erased his memories to prevent others from discovering his daughter's location. However, the surroundings suddenly changed, and Danny realized he was actually in the organization and was being hypnotized by the organization. Due to Danny's immense strength, they had to use dozens of people to hypnotize him at once. Their purpose was to extract information about his daughter from his memories, and Lev was the head of the organization. He appeared and asked Danny to reveal his daughter's location, or he would place him back in the endless loop of life. Frightened, Danny ran outside and only then realized that everything around him was a stage. Everything he had experienced so far had been a simulation created by the organization. In reality, they had done this to him 12 times because they still couldn't force him to reveal his daughter's whereabouts. They shocked him unconscious and prepared to hypnotize him once again. This time, all the hypnotists from the organization participated in the 13th attempt to hypnotize Danny. The scene played out just like in the initial events. However, this time Danny was not under their control. He stole a car and drove away from the organization's staged set. Diana, using her persona as his loving wife, asked him to stop the car, but he continued driving straight out. People suddenly noticed a location written in Danny's notebook. Lev quickly mobilized everyone to this spot because he believed it was led to find Danny's daughter. On Danny's end, He had reached the location where his foster parents were waiting. 3 years ago, he had asked them to take care of his daughter. Danny finally reunited with his daughter, a special girl who cannot be hypnotized. They embrace each other in happiness, overwhelmed with emotion. At the same time, the organization's members surround the farmhouse, hundreds of them armed. Diana stepped forward, demanding they hand over the girl. The elderly couple refused, and in response, a subordinate immediately shot and killed them. With no other choice, Danny decided to hand over his daughter. However, upon meeting her mother, she claimed that their entire family had escaped the organization. Suddenly, even Lev is surprised to learn that the entire organization was living within the illusion created by the little girl's powers. When she turns her attention to the organization's members, they all lose control and start shooting, inadvertently killing each other, and only a few of the strongest individuals remaining. At this point, Danny begins to confront the situation. Ultimately, no one survives except for Lev. The true surroundings reveal themselves as a deserted wasteland. Lev tries to harm the little girl with a gun, but he can't. Just one glance from her forces him to take his own life. Now, the little girl explains the whole truth. Hala is the daughter of Diana and Danny. From a young age, she possessed extraordinary hypnotic abilities, which is why the organization wanted to exploit her. Her parents sought to protect her from becoming a weapon, so they secretly hid her and erased their own memories. After 3 years, she developed the power to hypnotize enough to help their family escape the organization's control. This is the end of the movie. If you enjoy it, please like and subscribe to support my channel. Thanks for watching.